Here are 3 signs God is saying, let her go. Number 1, if the feelings have been one-sided for more than a few months, usually this means God is saying to let her go. One of the variables that make this type of question very difficult is that we can see examples in other people's lives of the woman not liking the man at first, but then over time, her feelings change. So whether that just be through friendship or the man keeps pursuing, or maybe she just takes a step back and realizes, I made a mistake. I actually do like this guy. Thus, it's going to be a natural thing for you to wonder if maybe that happens to you if the feelings aren't mutual for this woman that you really like. Sometimes as Christians, we even mishear the voice of God. And before we really have tangible evidence, we hear something like, she's the one. And then when it doesn't materialize, it can be very confusing. And so we might wonder, well, this might be one of those situations where she is the one, but she just doesn't know it yet. And it's going to take time for her to like me. So could that happen? Could her feelings change? Yes, they really could. Many women are very guarded at first, especially Christian women, because, they want to honor the Lord and they don't want to get hurt in a relationship. And so for some women, it really does just take time for them to open up and like you like them. But in the vast majority of cases, it far outweighs the odds that this is just not going to happen if the feelings aren't mutual. And I would give this a few months, not a few years. Think of in terms of months and not years if you really feel led to wait for her. It's completely fine and probably the right decision just to move on if she isn't equally as interested in you right away. But if you're feeling like, I might have a chance, I want to give it some time, give it a few months. Don't go past that. Because in Scripture, when there is true love present or developing, there's always this principle of mutuality. God isn't going to pair you with someone who doesn't love you back. That's just not how it works. Number 2, if you pursued this woman, but she didn't give you a firm or very clear yes or no, and it just is kind of ambiguous at this point, this is probably a sign you should let her go. Now, there's a variety of reasons of why a woman wouldn't just give you a clear answer, either yes or no. Well, the first one is that, like we just talked about, she just might need some time. She might not know if she likes you, and that's completely appropriate, especially when guys maybe make a slight technical error in how they pursue a woman and they don't get to know her that much at first and they just kind of go for it and they say, do you want to go on a date with me? And she's like, I really don't know if I want to go on a date with you. And so rather than say, no, I don't like you, don't ever pursue me again, she doesn't feel quite comfortable enough to say yes, but she kind of wants to get to know you first. Or maybe she goes on that date, but still just wants to, figure out if that you guys are compatible. And that's appropriate. She needs to guard her heart. She needs to do the right thing and make sure you're a good guy. The other type of woman is the overly compassionate woman who doesn't want to hurt your feelings. And it's natural. A lot of women are just nice. They don't want to hurt your feelings. And they struggle to say no. And so rather than giving you a clear shutdown and okay, I don't have a chance, she kind of dances around the no and inadvertently makes you feel like it's a maybe. In her mind, she's like, this is pretty clear. I didn't say yes. I was kind of dancing around. I didn't just say no, but he should figure it out, right? But on your end, she may have not done that good of a job, and you might think, well, she didn't say no, so maybe down the line it turns into a yes. Lastly, there's the more sinister side that some women have, and they don't say no or yes because they just like the attention and they're manipulating you and they don't want to date you, but they also don't want to lose the attention that you're giving them. And they're just going to play you until they meet a guy that they do actually want to date. Now, it's not always possible to really know which category that this woman might fall into. This again is where the couple months, 2, 3, 4 months tops probably, where you give it some time, and then honestly, it doesn't matter what category she falls into. She's not saying yes. And over a period of time, a non-answer is by default a no. In situations like that, it's best just to move on. Number 3, if she likes you but doesn't love you, or you like her but don't love her, this is a sign you should let her go. Now, this point is really for the guy who's in a relationship with a woman. You're not going to know if you love a woman until you start dating her and actually invest in the relationship. You might think you love a woman, but it's just infatuation unless you actually know her. And vice versa. She might like you and like dating you, but if it's not love, then it's pointless. Because as a Christian man, you really need to remember what your focus is here. You're not looking for a long-term girlfriend. You're not looking just to have fun right now in your singleness or in your youth. Rather, you are looking for a wife. So if you're unsure if there is love, then that's the point of dating. Keep dating. That's okay. When you should drop it is when you know there isn't love. That's when you know you're not going to marry her. That's when you should stop dating her. If you're unsure, you're like, I might marry her, I might not marry her. That means you should keep dating her because you need to figure it out. But if you're like, I know I'm not going to marry her, or she's like, I know I'm not going to marry him, and you kind of sense that, it's time to let her go. The faster you move on from the woman who's not going to be your future wife, the faster God can reveal the woman who is going to be your future wife. For more relationship advice from a biblical perspective, tailored for Christian men, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com. Until next time, God bless.